here we can see him in school if I could ever get it to play. Okay. Woo! That's actually Cyrax when he was in high school. Like I say, as many of you know, he was in high school till he was in his early 20s. 23, they threw him out. That should not have been allowed. Allowing a 23-year-old to be in a school, high school, most kids in high school average from 14 to 18. You know, you have a few, maybe 19, maybe on a rare occasion a 20-year-old, but most are 14 to 18. Here he was 23. He's still in high school. And they were just letting him do his thing there. Just, I don't know, did they plan on keeping him there forever? If it wasn't for the Blind Billy thing, if it wasn't for that Blind Billy thing, would they let him continue to go to that high school until he was 30? Yeah, it makes you wonder. There's another short video of him when he was in school. Yay. We missed it there. I'll get it to play in a second. Bear with me here, bear with me.
This is Crystal Lolcow. This is our new video. Chance to go ahead. Come on, Brubby. This is Crystal Lolcow. This is our new video. Chance to go ahead. Come on, Brubby.
You can see him there. Some girl is with him here. She's obviously a friend of his. And there was another boy that came up and kind of tapped at him. You know how young guys are, just horsing around. So obviously he did have friends. He was known at school. He wasn't some sort of outcast. I don't know why, but once again, I don't know how old he was here. It would have been 20 to 23, I would guess. He looked very young for his age. And now, you know, I don't know where I'm going with this. I don't know if it's making any sense what I'm trying to, point I'm trying to make here. Sally just basically, where was Sally all through his younger years? Where was she? Why didn't she address all of this? She let this guy, and I'm not taking up for him. I can't stand him. But she let this happen. She did not get him the help he needed or deserved. I think, I mean, we'll never know. We will never know for certain. But I really do think that if he had received the proper care he needed throughout his younger years, this could have been Cyrax right here. He could have looked something like this. I gotta say once again, you know, these pictures, I just found them around the internet. This one here, somebody else did this. I wish I had that talent. But yeah, I think if he had been adopted by a different family, I really do think that he would have turned out maybe something like that. Instead, we got this damn thing over here with the head scabs. We ended up with that instead. It's, it's amazing. These damn pictures here. Here's another one back here. I don't know what this one is. Right there. I'm sure you all have seen these pictures before. But you can see here, I don't know how old he would have been here. 20, 21, 22. You can see that jawline there sinking in. That chin, that jawline. And those teeth starting to jut out. Why wasn't that addressed when he was little? I don't get it. Where was Sally at? Why didn't she say, hey, this kid, I've adopted here. He's obviously in need of medical care and therapy, educational assistance. Where was she at? Was she just sitting on the couch asleep? She just, not bothering, didn't want to be bothered with it? Just threw him a toy every now and then? That's a good question. Good question. I don't know. I don't know. I guess we'll never know. It's like, how much though of our, like I asked at first, how much of our what we become, how much does our youth affect all that? If you ended up when you were a kid, this is all hypothetical crap. I'm probably boring people to death here. I'm boring myself to death. But as a kid, think about it. Let's just say you were in one neighborhood, surrounded, your neighborhood you grew up in, where you went to elementary school and then to high school. Let's just say out of the blue, your parents decided, hey, we're going to move 30 miles away. Got different jobs. Your whole life could have very well have changed. You might have ended up being a totally different person. I don't know if that has anything to do with any of this. If Cyrax had been adopted by a different family, I'm willing to bet he could have been a totally different person. We wouldn't be sitting here right now talking about this little monster that he became. That's all Sally's fault. If you're out there, Sally, and you're listening to this, which I know you're not, it's your fault. You failed this kid. You failed him. Right there, that boy there. You failed him. Somebody just texted me. You failed that kid. I know if I would have had, I don't know, came from a different time. When I look back at my school years, I'm kind of getting tired. But bear with me here. I'm about to wrap this up. I look back at my school years like I was in elementary school back in the 70s, and like when I was in elementary school, if you were a slow kid, if you were having trouble, I don't know if all schools were like this back then. Back then, they just threw you in what was the dummy class, and you just sat there and didn't do nothing for you. It wasn't like it helped you catch up to your peers of your same age. They just threw you in there, and you just. I remember the kids in there. I mean, I'm certain they could have, with the right help, could have turned out better. A lot of them just went out in life to drop out of high school and become criminals. Yeah, boy. I don't think any of this is making sense. Sometimes I know it with these videos. Sometimes they turn out terrible. I think this one's going to be half and half. We're not the best at this shit. I don't know. It's kind of like therapy for me. You delete this shit out of here. Red Rax. Teen Rax. What do you all think, though? Could have he turned out better in life with different parents than Sally? Oh, shit. Boy, that was lovely, wasn't it? I really think he could have. Couldn't have did any worse, put it that way. Check him out there, buddy. You can see right there, those teeth. Already just starting. See, that right there on the left is what we got. That on the right is what could have been. Because all that can be corrected. Now, these days, I mean, ain't no doctor going to work on him now. If he went in a place now, let's just say he won the lottery, had all this money to blow. He went in a place, no doctor going to fool with that. With that crazy little shit. I'd like to know what Sally's routine with him as a kid was. You know, did she take him to doctor's appointments? Did she do anything with him? Did she get involved in his school activities? Trying to help him, you know, learn or catch up? Did she even look at his report cards when he was a kid? Or did she just sign it and turn it back in? It's all on her. I seen where somebody did an interview with her, Death by Design. You know, she was on there trying to. She's full of shit. Old lady's full of shit. I don't like her. There's a train going down the street. I don't know. Not my problem, I guess. I've known plenty of people like this. If you had a kid, I'm going to wrap this up one of these days. If you had a kid, and his mouth was turning out like that, and he had one of those sunken in jaws, and his chin, you know, all drawn back, and would you let him go through life like that? Knowing that in this day and age, that can all be corrected? Would you really let him go through life like that? What was Sally doing at the time? I mean, was she partying or something? You know, she would have been a lot younger. Was she just out partying and not even worrying about this kid? Was she just laying on the couch sleeping all day long? You know, was she doing anything to take any interest in him. You know, would you let your kid turn out like that? I can't imagine. There he is. Look at the little guy. Little Cyrax. I don't know. Cannot imagine having a kid. You know he's got problems. You know he does. And just letting it just develop without trying to do anything about it. Cannot imagine. But that's what she did. She let this little boy right here turn into that. Right there. Of course, his whole family is fucked up, man. His dad, his granddads, I mean, both sides of his family, just monsters. Just fucking monsters. All of them. So he never really had a chance. Chance never had a chance. Apparently, they say he's got another brother. And his other brother turned out he was adopted by a totally separate, unrelated family. And he turned out okay. And he wants absolutely nothing to do with this little shit. You know, and people don't try and find him. If that's the case, don't drag him into this mess. Let him have his privacy. I mean, would you want, if you were just unlucky enough to be related to that, would you want it known? I wouldn't. Can you imagine that? Man, it's crazy. You know, his entire family, though, they were fucked up. It's hard to say what all was going on there. And Sally was probably just sitting back letting it happen. She probably had nasty old men in the house that like to do shit to kids, and they probably were having their way with him. You know, I don't want to bring sympathy on him because it's like Sympathy for the Devil, which is a damn cool song by the Rolling Stones. If you've never heard it, I don't know how you couldn't have heard it, but yeah, I guarantee it. She has her way of turning her back on all that kind of stuff, from what everyone says. You know, and there's probably people doing shit to all the kids in the family. Nobody cared. It was like, cover it up. You know, don't let the police know. That kind of shit. We don't want our family member to have to go to jail. Meanwhile, the family members diddling every kid in the family. I don't know. Nothing like that went on in my family, as far as I know. Boy, I knocked it out of the park with this one. I'll probably get about 30 views. Oh, Lord. I was doing good at this at first, but lately it's kind of like my videos are going. Oh, Jesus. I just do it for the fun. Yeah, everybody like, comment, subscribe. Watch out for those drones dropping red paint. Don't want it to hit your house.